On lake docks and decks, the Pelons have a stunning lakefront cabin, but they want to be closer to the water.
When you're down at the dock and you forgot something, and we're doing rock, paper, scissors, so you have to go get it.
They want a more functional space beside the lake where they can entertain the whole family all day long. And I'm gonna build it for them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
I love it.
I'm Simon Hirsh, and for 23 years, I've been building lake docks and decks for my clients. Today, I'm going to meet the Pelons at their incredible lakefront cabin.
Back when I was 20 years old, bought a piece of land and built a little cabin with some friends and just enjoyed the place. And then kids came along, we sold it, but always said we'd come back. And here we are. So this resort was for sale, I'm gonna say 2008. We repurposed the whole property from a sort of a high-use property to a low-use, beautiful property.
It was his dream since I met him, building a log cabin around an amazing fireplace, and that's exactly what we have. That's 33 years ago he told me that, and here we are. As soon as I walk in the door, I feel totally different. The stress level goes down. As soon as we get here, it's like vacation. I mean, we see our kids more than we normally would because of this gathering place. So everybody meets up here and we have a great time.
What I like most about this lake is how private it is, and you can kind of sit at the end of the dock and not see a boat pass for 20 minutes, half an hour.
We've got a brand new granddaughter. We're grandparents for the first time. It's really exciting. And we can't wait to see her running around down at the beach.
Since we had the baby, we definitely need to make this a little more kid-friendly because it was definitely geared towards teenagers and adults. So it's a nice transition for the family, and I think having everything down at the dock would be ideal.
To bring food down, to bring drinks down,
Really hard.
use the washroom, all kinds of different things. It becomes a bit of a trek.
Right now, it's not a good place for entertaining because it's very inconvenient. There's quite a few stairs, so it is constant. It's exhausting.
I met Randy and Catherine about 10 years ago. They asked me to design and build them a home on the lake here, and we've been working on it ever since. What's important to me when I'm creating a space for a client is that the design is unique, the products are unique, the materials we use are not your everyday lumberyard product. Vacationing and lakefront living in general should have a luxurious element to it, and I'm always trying to design to that and give them something a little different.
We built this patio here out of some of the remnant stone from when you built the house.
Right.
Put these treads in to add some space here, but it doesn't stop us from having to go all the way back up there to get things. So we brought electricity to the dock, and we want to put in, I don't know, a cabana of some sort.
So Randy, Catherine, you have this fabulous patio up by the cottage, tons of space up there. What's the big draw down to the lake? Why could we not utilize that space? What makes you want to come down here?
For me, the beach. The beach is huge. The boats are down here, the water. Everybody seems to always want to be down here. And it's also very hot up there. Like to sit up there, it's very hot, so it's nice to be near the water.
So the daytime entertaining
Yes.
all happens down by the
Yes.
water.
Pretty much.
Everyone can swim,
Yes.
use the boats. This is where you want to spend your time.
Right.
But we definitely need to get some storage down here.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be running up and down these stairs all day long.
Right.
I'm thinking if we could walk into the space and have counters on both sides, we could have two purposes. One side could be, you know, for the fridge and sort of the entertaining area.
Yeah.
The other side could be more for storage, maybe. Would something like that work?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so if this is going to be our new outdoor deck space by the lake here, maybe it's getting a little tight. Perhaps we could fill in the space between the dock and the deck so that it's continuous all the way through. Give you a little more space.
Also bring that straight through so that it connects here.
Exactly. We'll bring the line all the way in.
Yeah.
So now you can walk straight off of the stone deck right onto the dock. But I think that would give you a huge amount of space to entertain on
That's
down
awesome.
here.
Nice.
Great.
Very smart.
Add that to the list.
Let's do it.
All right. So you've given me a lot to work with here.
Yep.
I'm going to try to put some of these ideas together.
Okay.
And come up with a design and see if we can meet all your expectations in,
Great.
In one beautiful building.
Well, that's what you do best is the design. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you're going to do here. It's pretty exciting. We're anxious to get it done.
All right, we'll get right on it.
Summer's here.
Randy and Catherine have given me a $35,000 budget and a 3-week timeline. My plan is to build the Pilons a kitchen cabana so they can bring the party down to the waterfront. I'll match the look of their current home by building it in a log cabin style. And I'm going to extend their waterfront so the family can take advantage of some unusable space, creating a fire pit and a lounging area. The big challenge here will be to figure out a way to do as much of the work off-site and then bring everything on-site and quickly build it. We want to show up and have all the work done ahead of time and put it together all at once. Today is our first day on the cabana project for Randy and Catherine. The first step is to unload these logs from the truck. We're gonna crane them over to the yard, unwrap them, and start prepping them to be cut. Right now, we're just leveling the truck. We're gonna drop the outriggers, get it stable, unstrap all the logs, and start unloading. All the timber for this job is being measured and cut at my lumber yard. I love having control over this aspect, as the design relies on getting the right wood for the project. We're using Western red cedar. It's resistant to insects and rot. This softwood timber is around 60 to 80 years old. Hopefully they're all 8-footers, yeah, so we can pick the two nicest ones.
Yeah, these ones are just bigger flares.
For our front feature flares, that'll go out. So have you figured out which we're gonna use for our main feature logs here?
Yeah, I think we picked these two top ones for the back, and the bigger flares are on the bottom, so maybe put them out front.
Okay.
They got the bigger toes, and they're a bit bigger around, too. These are about 22s, and they're about 24, 25 inch.
Perfect, perfect. We'll hide these in the back.
Yeah.
And then we'll use this. This will be our exposed side here.
Yep.
Cut in the corner back here.
So roughly cutting that out.
Yeah. We're deciding what parts of the character of the log, or the toes as we call them, we're gonna keep. So we're gonna decide what we're gonna cut off and what we're gonna have exposed. And we wanna pick the nicest parts for the front of the cabana. So what we're doing right now is we're picking a center on these logs. You have to use your eye and sort of look at the shape and the bend of the log. Then we're gonna put a bolt in here, and we're gonna mount it on a log spinner, which allows us to spin the log and make a line to level it all out. Okay, Chad, can you go and get the skid steer, put the forks on it, and then we can load these up.
Sure can.
We'll roll it.
Okay, right there. Stay there.
Good.
We'll hold here. Yeah, that'll be nice.
You guys are going too fast. Go back, go back. So what we're doing here is we're marking a level line to cut the bottom of the log off so it sits level on the ground, and this has to be perpendicular to the center line that we just marked.
That'll be line up. Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, we're
Nice.
good. All right, guys, slowly. Yeah. We're gonna now measure 6 feet up for the length of the log, and we're gonna mark the top cut. So when we cut both ends, we have a nice squared off 6-foot post. The process of preparing these logs for the gazebo is very tedious. We have to be very careful with every cut. If the lines aren't square and level, when we put everything together, it won't fit. So it takes a long time to get this to work. Now that we have all the logs cut for the cabana, I can't wait to get them over to the homeowners and start piecing it all together. It's so close, man. Randy and Catherine have a stunning lakefront cabin, but they need my help creating a functional space near the water, which they can use for storage, food prep, and entertaining. We've cut all the timber for the wood frame cabana, and it's arriving on site. Now comes my favorite part, construction. We built the whole cabana off-site, and now we're just gonna try to back them down so we can get as close to the patio as possible to set it up. Come out just a little bit. That's pretty Okay, we've got one of our side walls up. We've got a back wall up. We're gonna be dropping another wall on this side, and then we can wrap it in the logs. As the walls go up, the boys discover a little bit of a problem. So, our wall is a little bit long. We're just gonna pull it down and trim it back. It'll be fine. The problems with pre-building something off-site is sometimes you get little misses. Easy to fix, though. Okay, let's stand it up. Now we've got everything just pinned in place. We're not gonna put all the screws in yet until we make sure that the logs fit perfectly. Still good?
Yeah. Pin the bottom.
With the walls squared up, it's time to get the logs off the truck. I'm gonna spin it around and then just stand it up. Each one weighs about 600 pounds, so we have to be really careful. We had to cut out these corners to wrap around the shed. So for shipping, we leave them in to help stabilize the log and make sure the edges don't get damaged. So we're gonna swing the log in. It has to rest on that little lip, and then we gotta detach the crane and push it in by hand for the last bit. Okay, down. We're trying to fit this giant 3D puzzle together. It takes teamwork, skill,
You good, Chad?
and a little bit of luck.
Good, Simon. Looks good, though, all right?
Okay, Paul, you can go down. Maneuvering these 600-pound logs into place can be dangerous. It's important to get them anchored as quickly as possible.
I'm looking good.
I'm good.
Watch your fingers.
This is a time-consuming process. All the pieces have to fit together perfectly. It's so close, man. But sometimes they need a little bit of encouragement. Try now. After a bit of persuasion, we have a perfect fit. Another day at the Pilon's lakefront build, and the roof and siding have been added to the cabana to finish off the look. With the cabana nearly complete, it's time to get going on the other parts of the project. The 200 square foot addition to the dock. We're welding new steel beams to this structure, under the existing dock. Each beam gets clamped before getting welded into place. When building a large structure like this, it's critically important to get the measurements and position exact, because once it's welded, making a change can be really difficult. While John finishes up the welding, I get to crank up the saw and cut some steel. We've made a lot of progress, but our deadline is fast approaching. The dock structure is done, and the boys are laying the deck boards. While Chuck works on finishing the interior, I'm going to build the final piece of the exterior, the door. We're almost at the end of our 3-week deadline, and I can't wait to see what Randy and Catherine think of the design.
Wow, that's awesome.
wow.
That's
I
pretty
love
cool.
it.
Looks great.
Randy and Catherine have a beautiful log cabin, and they asked me to build them something that would give them storage, a place for food prep, and to keep drinks cool near the water. I designed a timber frame cabana in the style of the cabin, giving them more functionality, and we're extending their dock to create even more entertaining space. This dock extension gives an additional 250 square feet of living and entertaining space. We're using cedar to deck the pile-driven dock, and Dwight is scribing the planks into the rock edging of the patio. This will open it up so that the area will flow onto the dock. To finish off the cabana, we're adding 2 levels of live-edge cedar shelving. It will run around 3 sides, leaving space for a fridge to fit in the center. While the boys work on finishing the cabana and deck, I'm heading back to my workshop to start on a surprise project for the pylons. Randy and Catherine really need some stable, permanent furniture they can leave down by the lake on the deck. So my idea was to carve some big, heavy stump furniture out of these cedar logs. It's great. It could just sit out there, weather naturally. It won't blow in the lake. Now we have to do a little more carving to this thing, and when it's done, it's going to be a fabulous throne for Randy. I think he's going to love it. This is about a 100-year-old cedar log stump, so it has lots of character on it. Now I want to add some shape to it, make it a little more funky, a little more into what Randy and Catherine like. So we're going to do some carving and round some edges and then smooth it right down. This is a bit of a tedious process because you're carving a whole chair out of a giant tree. It'll take some time, but it'll be worth it in the end. A few more cuts, a little bit of hollowing out. This should be pretty good. You can handle this. It's a long but satisfying process. I really enjoy creating a functional object out of a natural material like this. With our deadline fast approaching, I've got to load up the new chair and get it set up on the pylon's new deck area. I really think they're gonna love it. Now, I'm not sure who's gonna get the throne, but you guys can fight over that.
Well, that would be me.
That would be Randy. Randy's the king.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a few more of those.
The pylon's lakeside cabana has been a lot of work, but we're finally finished. Try now. I stuck to our budget of $35,000 and the deadline of 3 weeks. I think it's gorgeous, but let's see what Randy and Catherine think. Well, the weather hasn't been cooperating, but despite that, we managed to get everything
that's
done.
awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's great, isn't it?
It looks like a miniature of our house. Looks great.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
When you need dock storage in a place like this,
Yeah.
it has to be fairly dramatic, I figured. So your dock storage box ended up being this beautiful cabana.
That's fantastic.
There's got all the log details. It's got all the rustic timber details.
Yeah.
And I think we've packed all the storage you need inside here. Let's just take a look.
Luxury storage. Wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so we got the
awesome.
fridge that we wanted. So now we don't have to go all the way upstairs to get stuff.
Lots of shelf storage.
That'll help
Yeah.
a lot.
Put a blender in there.
And secure storage, you can lock it up. You can leave stuff down here when it rains, like it's about to now. Or
Yep.
other times, you can just throw everything in here. And it's cozy, too.
Yeah, very nice.
That's great.
It's almost like a bunkie.
Bunkie cabana.
Yeah, well done.
Certainly a heavy-duty structure. I don't think any storms are going to blow this thing over.
No, I don't think so.
Built like a tank.
Fantastic.
We've also filled in the extra dock space, which has made a huge difference over here, I think.
Wow.
You can walk straight out.
It's awesome.
Tons of seating.
It was way too tight there. It's perfect. I love it. And I love this, too. I love how it...
Yeah, the guys,
Flows.
we've scribed the dock boards in as tight as we can
Yeah.
to the rocks there. It adds a really nice feature.
I like it.
I like
Beautiful.
the transition, too.
Yeah, me too.
You know? It lets you see the difference between the stone deck and the wooden deck area.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect.
I think it's really blended in well, and I think there's still a great area over here for your fire pit.
Whoa, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Look at the chair. That's pretty cool.
I love it. Love it.
Matches the big logs at the front of the house.
That'll be the king's chair. That's your chair.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I thought
Very
you might
cool.
like that and want a whole bunch more of them, but you know, we got one of them made. It's a lot of carving, a lot of sanding.
Is
and,
it ever?
Try it out, try it out.
That's pretty cool. Very nice.
I wouldn't mind a few more of those.
Now that is a chair that won't blow off the dock, that's for sure.
That is very cool. Love it.
That's fantastic.
That's so our style.
It's such a better use of the space because this came on an angle before, as you know.
It was very
And
crowded.
it just adds a whole new dimension to the dock space.
Well, the water was quite shallow in here, so it wasn't really a swimming area either. So now I think it looks really
it's
nice.
perfect.
The
Perfect.
beach is the dedicated beach area, and this, you've got a lot more boat parking here too.
Yep.
You know, you can park all the way down the sides, bring more boats in if you need to.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I mean, this dining area it seems to make so much sense now that you can have a dining area there, sitting area out at
Right.
the dock,
Yeah, I
fire
know.
pit here, everything accessible to the cabana to service it all. It's really improved on what was already an amazing space.
You built such a beautiful house. You know, there's no doubt that this would turn out great.
And it was nice to be able to put some finishing touches down here like this.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much.
much. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
I feel this was a great success. Randy and Catherine's reaction was perfect. They seemed surprised, and I feel like we've exceeded their expectations. And that's the goal. You know, it's one more beautiful part of this project, and it's just fabulous to see that.
My first reaction was how easy it's going to make life. I love the deck. It's a great layout, so I was very excited. Now, instead of being up and down the stairs all day long, I'll bring everything down in the morning and we'll spend the day at the lake, which will make life a lot easier.
And there's so much space on that dock now that you could have literally 30, 40 people if
Yeah,
you needed to.
exactly.
So now everybody can hang out right at the water. It's pretty nice.
One, two, three, big jump.
On lake docks and decks, the Margot family has found their dream plot of land in the country.
The only real issue is the dock that's here now.
I'm going to build them a beautiful new dock to take advantage of the waterfront and those outstanding views. What do you think?
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
This is stunning.
I'm Simon Hirsh, and I've been building lake docks and decks for over 23 years. Today, I'm going to meet Darryl and Andy Margot to see how I can help them with their lakefront property.
It was 2 years ago when we found the property. I think we looked at about 7 or 8 different properties, and the one that you said was the one was actually the one. So I did all the work to go and check out all the different ones, but she knew from the moment she saw it.
I think that we just wanted a place to be together and to have one space where the family can go, we can all gather around, have our own family time without the distractions of the city and technology, and watch the kids grow in a very different environment than urban life.
Beep.
Beep.
It's cool.
The concern right now is that it's just mostly a forest space. So the kids don't have an area to just roam freely, to play. And the floating dock, I have concerns with that because the kids just want to go and jump and then it kind of
Floats away.
Floats away. Thank you.
The Margos have a spectacular plot of land, but it's still totally undeveloped. I'm excited to hear their ideas for this job.
So you'll see it's got a beautiful view, of course.
Amazing view. Yeah, love it.
And the only real issue is the dock that's here now. It's going to be a while until we can actually build the cabin, but I really want to use, you know, the land and the lake as much as we can, you know, while that process is going on.
I think this location looks like a great location for the dock, but yeah, this dock's in rough shape. It needs some work, definitely.
Yeah.
I can see it's tilting and slippery, and there's splinters on the boards and things like that. Are there any other sort of wants or needs you want to have down here? Like, is there anything that would make this a better space?
Yeah, I think like in an ideal world, you know, I really want to get as much sun exposure as possible. So what I see in my head, and again, I don't know much, but what I'm thinking is, you know, get the dock as wide as we can, take it out as far as we can, and then this little area here, because it's nice and gradual, like there's no big rocks or anything, I think this would be great for where the kids can swim and play. So maybe the dock goes out and then it angles to the right, which would also allow us to keep the really nice look, you know, the trees and the rocks and the cliffs. That's, you know, ideal, I think.
Good.
But ultimately, you know, we're up here, it's beautiful. I just want a really safe environment for the kids, make sure that nobody falls off this wobbly dock, and just enjoy the outdoors as much as we can until that cabin is built.
Yeah, this is your outside living room, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is what this is going to be, at least until the cabin's done.
Exactly. How big do you think we can make it?
Well, we'll have to play around with some ideas, but I think, you know, we're looking at quite a space, you know, like a backyard basically floating out on the lake.
That would be
we're looking
amazing.
at. So it'll be quite large, definitely.
Okay, great.
When I listen to Darryl and Andy and hear what they want to do with this waterfront, what I envision is a large space out in the water. We need to get out to where the sun is. So we need to have a solid, stable bridge dock section that connects to a larger island dock section where they have all their activities. If we don't go far enough out in the lake, it won't be deep enough for swimming and boats, and it'll also be in the shade of the trees. The space that I'm creating there is going to be like an outdoor oasis. Like, I don't think they realize how nice this is going to be when it's done. Compared to what they have now, it's going to completely transform. They're going to love it.
Along the shore, we're going to add stone steps into the water and down to the dock. We'll put in 18 steel piles to support a large L-shaped dock, creating a shallow, partially enclosed, safe area for the kids, with space for boats to dock on the far side. My bonus feature will be a water slide and angled steps so everyone can get out of the water safely. I have a budget of $46,000 and a timeline of 3 weeks to get this done. With the steep access and a bad weather forecast ahead, this job may be challenging to complete on time.
This is way too hard to do by hand, so we're going to get the machine and pick this up a little bit, rip this thing apart. So now we've removed the old dock. We're getting ready to put the new dock in. We're gonna have to rescue that floating raft out there, which is remnants of the old dock, but we actually may be able to use it while we're building the new one. Now I have to mark out where this dock's gonna be positioned relative to the property line. This is the side of the property. We have to make sure we're a certain distance from this corner mark when we start the new dock. I assume there's a stake somewhere in the ground here. Where that is, who knows? It could be buried underneath here for years. I'm just gonna go with this as our general area and give us a bit more space to play with because I can't find a stake or a pin anywhere in here. And then once we set the first pile, we will have the surveyors come and confirm the locations. Oh yeah, we have plenty of room. We have more than enough. The old dock location was well beyond the setback, so I'm not worried about it at all. It takes big machines to move big steel, like this one. There's two types of docks that people typically build. Traditionally, they were done as crib docks, which is basically stacking up square timbers or logs in a box and filling it with rocks. That's all done underwater. And then you build a dock on top of it. Now, what we do now is we build a steel pile dock where we drive steel pile into the ground and weld basically a frame of steel and then put the wood decking on it. The steel is much stronger. It's driven way deep into the ground so it doesn't sink and settle like cribs can, and it can't be sort of pushed over by the ice. It's really the more solid way to build a dock. Now we've got our steel down here. We're gonna break apart these lifts and start driving some piles.
The pile driver can only reach a certain height, so the piles have to be cut down to a length that enables the machine to get on top of them.
Right to that rock that keeps coming out, we push that off, we can set the pile right down in there.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first pile gets driven in and just keeps going. This means the bedrock is much deeper than we anticipated. We need to bring in our welder to lengthen the piles.
So much for hitting bedrock right away.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Darryl and Andy's lakefront lot is empty, except for a dock that is falling apart.
It's just mostly a forest space. So the kids don't have an area to just roam freely, to play.
I'm building them a family-friendly dock that will be big enough that they can come up and enjoy the lake until they have a chance to build a cabin. But when we started driving the piles into the lake for the new dock, we hit a problem.
We've driven the first pile in, and we were hoping to hit bedrock, but it's deeper than 20 feet. So now we have to weld another pile on top and keep driving down. So we have to bring in another crew. We got to get the welding done before we can move ahead. It slows things down a little bit because now we have to stop and weld each pile versus driving a whole bunch of piles in. A little frustrating, but it happens.
While the welding crew gets set up, I'm going to drop in the second pile and figure out how we're going to weld over open water. It might be tricky, but I think I have a solution.
So I'm gonna paddle out and try to rescue the raft so that we can use it to weld off of, but it's anchored out in the middle of the lake. All right, now I gotta paddle in somehow. Throw me a line.
That's what we get for working in cottage country.
Dave's out there welding the extension on the first pile. Then we can drive that pile another 20 feet and hope that we hit some bedrock. If we don't, we have to weld another one on and keep going and going and going until we hit bedrock. This dock's gonna require 17 or 18 piles. We're already starting with some pretty long piles. This isn't good news. We could end up putting a lot more steel in this dock than I anticipated.
And steel costs money. This means the budget is going to keep going up as long as we keep adding steel. After driving down 30 feet of piles, we have finally hit rock bottom.
I think we can just leave this because I think it's skipping down the edge of the rock the way it's on a bit of an angle there. So I think we've hit the bedrock. We're just sort of moving along the edge of it. So I'm happy with that. Let's tack another one on this pile and drive this one down. All right, well, that's good. 2 down, 16 to go.
As we work to secure the piles, disaster strikes. The main pin in the pile driver breaks.
Hit a rock and moved around it.
This grinds all work to a halt.
All right.
If we can't drive the piles in, then we can't make any progress.
All right, that's it.
I have to order a new part, and all we can do is shut the site down until it arrives. Now I'm looking at a delayed schedule. I never miss a deadline, and I hate disappointing my clients.
1, 2, 3, big jump.
Darryl and Andy want to create a waterside haven for their young family. We started with a dock that was rotten and downright dangerous. So I'm building them a backyard on the lake that I think they're gonna fall in love with.
I just want a really safe environment for the kids.
Things have not been going according to plan.
All right, that's it. Wow, we've been hit with some major delays on this one, and all I want to do is get them a space they can enjoy before the summer's over. The equipment failures that we've had there have been ridiculous. You know, a tried and true piece of equipment fails for the first time in 10 years. The replacement fails on the first day it gets on site. We finally got everything back up and running again, hit some bad weather again, which delayed us further. But now we're going. There's finally a light at the end of the tunnel for this dock for Darryl and Andy.
How you doing, dude?
Pretty good, pretty good. A little happier now. It's starting to move.
Good.
So you got things going. We got some progress here. It's good.
Dude, there's lots. In the last couple days.
So that's good. So now we'll get the rest of our steel in. We get on wood, what, 2-3 days maybe?
2-3 days. Yep.
Good.
For
All right,
sure.
good.
One more row of crossers out there. Starting stringers tomorrow.
Excellent. Sounds
For
good.
sure. Yep.
It's great having Danny out welding again because it means the next step is getting the deck boards on. I need to try and make up some lost time on this job.
Danny's finished up all the welding now, so the whole structure's complete. We can now start laying all the deck boards. This part is really satisfying because you see the whole dock take shape. And that gives me time to go shopping. Darryl and Andy picked a smaller lake specifically because they wanted it to be safe for their kids. So I know that's a big priority for them. I want to add some fun features for the kids, but I got to keep them safe.
So we have 4 steps and 5-step ladder, white and black, aluminum, powder coated.
You know what I really like about these is that they have the angle that I need, so it's more of a staircase than a steep ladder, because these kids, they're little kids. They seem to have no sharp edges on them, so the kids won't cut themselves. You know, these are perfect.
Perfect.
And I'm just looking for some other fun ideas for this family. Got little kids, and I see this slide over here, and I think that would be perfect. Can we go take a look?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any dock is complete without a slide.
Can I try it out on this frame?
Yeah, it's sound. I built the stand myself, so
Oh, you
jump
built
on.
it? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I trust you. I'm gonna give this a shot. This is pretty good. Right on. That's great. Okay, let's get one of these and get a ladder and get moving. That's fantastic.
Back at the site, we're making great progress on the decking.
We've encountered several delays along the way on this project. We've hit really difficult weather, and we've had some mechanical failures. So we finally got a window to get things moving, and you know, it happened fast when the window opened up, that's for sure.
This job has really come together. The slide and ladder have arrived.
Set yours end down,
So we can now put the final touches on this dock.
pull your ladder in just a bit more. I'm just sketching out my ideas for the shorefront. When I got to site and started explaining the stairs I want to add to Dave into the water, I realized I think we need some stairs onto the dock as well. So I'm just sort of getting the ideas sketched out here. Often when, you know, you're actually on site and you see things built, they come together a little differently. So I'm adapting and getting some ideas on paper here. Hey, Dave. So here, I just sketched out our ideas here. So we got our first staircase, and then I'm thinking about in this staircase over here, little mulch path. And I'm even thinking if there's room to flank in some very subtle gardens maybe, just to separate it. Sure. There, and there. But you'll see, I'm not sure if you're gonna have room for those, but we'll see how it comes together. Good.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Placing the stone for the steps is the final part of the job. After some brutal setbacks to the deadline and the budget, I just hope Darryl and Andy love what we've created for them.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
This is stunning.
Darryl and Andy came to me with a blank slate, a plot of land that was empty except for a rotten old crib dock that was dangerous for their young family to play on. Our 3-week timeline got doubled to 6 weeks when our equipment broke down and I had to order new parts. On top of that, the lake bed was a lot deeper than we could have guessed, which means an increase in the amount of steel we used, taking the original $46,000 budget to $50,000.
I can't believe we finally finished. Darryl and Andy are going to be arriving any moment now, and I can't wait to show them what we've done here. So what do you think?
Wow. Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
This is stunning. Amazing. Everything we wanted.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's a lot of space. Huge amount of space, all the entertaining space you needed. But what I want to show you first are some of the features we did here along the shoreline. So here we've got your beautiful sand bottom, child-friendly swimming cove. So now the kids can walk in here on these nice steps. They won't slip on the steps. You've got that beautiful sand beach.
And the stairs are perfect grade into it. They won't slip.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
So the L shape of the dock blocks the waves from coming in, and it's nice and contained, very safe. Now, when it is time for deep water, we can head out onto the dock.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go see.
Here we have your fabulous new dock. Now, it's huge, which is what you guys wanted.
Totally.
Lots of area.
And it's wide, and that makes me feel a lot less anxious when I've got the kids just running.
You want to go play?
The first thing I noticed when I saw the dock was the size of it, and the first thing that came to mind was the safety of it for the kids.
Now, over here we have essentially your backyard space for the kids out on the water.
I just love how you've gone so far out that it's going to be deep water for them to jump in. Everybody will be having a great time. It's fantastic.
Well, it really maximized what you guys have here on your property, which is beautiful, shallow water for the kids to swim in. But you also have deep swimming water. You don't often get both of those, and we were able to use the dock shape to maximize that. So it worked out great. We've got your slide area over here.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's what the kids have always wanted. Thank you. It's going to be great.
Over here, Darryl, we put in this great ladder. So
Perfect.
This is a sloped ladder that allows, it's almost like a staircase, really.
Okay.
So as you can see, it has a good angle to it, so the little kids will be able to climb up it. There's no sharp edges on it. It's all finished in aluminum, so it won't corrode.
Simon, thank you so much. This is everything that we dreamed of and we talked of, and
I'm
it's
glad.
absolutely beautiful.
I'm glad.
Here we go.
The shallow part is amazing, and then we also have the other parts where they can go and jump off the dock. They can slide down the slide and just have a really fun space.
You know, really, this is really our dream come true.
My favorite part of this dock is the way we've created this large island space out on the water. And that's really what they needed, is sort of to be able to get out on the water and step away from the property. It's really fun to, deliver something to people like Darryl and Andy who have never been on the lake. This is new to them. So they're relying on me to sort of tell them how they're gonna have fun on the lake. And having lived on the lakes and built on the lakes with young kids, I knew what they needed, and I was able to deliver that. Now it's great to see them enjoying that. All the lessons I've learned with my kids playing on the lakes with other clients, they get to benefit from that, and that's what I tried to give them.